Well, good afternoon to you. I thought I'd come back outside today as soon as you enjoyed the video. We sat in the garden yesterday and enjoyed the view, and so today I'm sharing the blessing that I've had having lived in this house, being on top of a hill. A little bit overcast today, but the weather does show itself from time to time, and I do enjoy looking out the window and watching the weather come in over the valley and over into the other side of Soby Bridge. Today, what have I got for you then? I've got Jehovah-Machsi, or Machsi, means refuge. I'll just wait until that emergency services has gone by. There we go, a little bit more peace and quiet. Yes, Jehovah-Machsi means refuge, and today I'm taking the reading from Psalm 46:1. It says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Now, I don't know whether you've experienced issues with your computer, but there are a lot of hidden dangers, aren't there? We get computer hackers, and we've also, if you've ever suffered from food poisoning, you wouldn't have obviously eaten the food in the first place if you'd known the bacteria that was initially in the food. These are all hidden dangers. Unlike like today in the COVID-19, the virus, we can't actually see it, but we know it's there, and it's been a potential threat for some months now. The Bible mentions here cities of refuge. Now, I don't know if you know much about this, but in biblical times there was a allocated, designated city where people could flee to take refuge if something had happened. Perhaps by accident you killed someone's goat, and that family decided to take revenge on you. They would surely come after you. So to stop them, prevent them from attacking you or your family, you would rush to the nearest city, the place of refuge, and hide out there until things could be sorted. Now, this has sort of been passed down. I can remember as a child that, you know, if you was in any trouble, it's featured on TV and films that getting into trouble, go and run and hide in a church, because it was said that people don't want to come in, arrest you, tackle you. You know, they didn't want to be walking or going into a holy place and dragging somebody out. It was like a disrespect for God. Now, sadly, that doesn't happen. People really don't care. In fact, the churches are probably locked these days, but they don't have any qualms about going in there, dragging whoever it is out, and then dealing with them, or phoning the police and letting the judicial system deal with them in that respect. But in the Bible, it does mention these places of refuge, these cities of refuge they were called. And David knew that. We only have to look back, and I've mentioned it previously, David numerous times he hid in caves to evade being found by Saul, because he was constantly wanting to find where he was. He wanted to kill him, so David sought out a refuge in caves, and in one particular incident I've mentioned before that actually King Saul went to relieve himself in this cave and didn't even know that David was there. But these caves, these places of refuge that David went to, there's no comparison when we talk about a refuge of God, from God. They're the places where no one can get to us, no one can harm you, because you have that covering, that protection of God, like the cities that were used back in biblical times. You see, the translation for refuge, which is Machsi, okay, not only is translated into shelter, but it can also be interpreted as hope or trust. And in the same way, David put his hope and his trust into the one true God who provided him that ultimate refuge and protection. Now, of course, as today, apart from this COVID-19, we perhaps aren't really aware of many threats to us, and certainly are oblivious to any threats that may lurk around the corner, like a speeding car. We can't see that, can we? But the one thing that we do know for certainty is that God, we can put our trust in Him. He can be our refuge in times of need and in times of trouble. We can just turn to Him. He will protect us. He will shield us from any of the dangers that may come our way. Amen. Catch you tomorrow.